So are you thinking about making the move to Roseburg, but maybe have only visited a couple times and really don't know the area? Well, in this video, I am going to take you on a little map tour and show you everything about the Roseburg area and all its little neighborhoods, and possibly dive into a couple homes that might be for sale. And hopefully this will help with your search and making the decision to make the move here, because I moved to this area about 10 years ago. I had no idea what it was like here. I didn't know the area, but since then I have learned all the neighborhoods, my favorites, and I'm going to show you a couple neighborhoods that I don't think I would move to. Now, I am a real estate agent, so I can't steer you, but I'm just going to give you my personal opinions and just shoot it to you straight. So with that, let's get on with the video. Hey everybody, I'm Jerry Norman with Oregon Life Homes, and today we are going to dive into the map. So let's get on with it. All right, so here we are. Here is all of Roseburg. All right, so this is the downtown area, and we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit. Then we are going to look a little bit in the Laurelwood area, also the West Harvard neighborhood, and then one of the popular neighborhoods is the Hucrest area, and then dive in a little bit to Melrose. And then we're also going to explore a couple little hidden gems up around in here and why people like these areas as well. Also, we are going to dive into the northeast downtown area, and we're going to dive into that a little bit, and then also explore the green area as well and why some people like living there. So with that, let's just dive into the downtown. So we'll get rid of my marker here, and here we are in the downtown area. And as you can see, this is where all your local restaurants are going to be, and just kind of bop right in there. So as you can see, here's the downtown area, just a quaint little town. A lot of local restaurants here, bricks right here. That's one of my favorites. So, I mean, the downtown area is really nice. And then we can kind of zoom back out a little bit, and we'll just reposition ourselves. This is a great spot right here. So this is all older homes, and they're all going to be within these along this street here, all going to be within the 300 range, slightly lower, some in the 200s, high twos. Really nice neighborhood, and I mean, it's going to be a little bit busier than if you were out in some of the outskirts areas, but you're just right outside of town. And now I showed you a little bit of the downtown, and it's really not, hasn't been upscaled too much. When they do upscale the downtown area, that is going to really boost these home values all along here. And let's get back turned around. So that's really going to boost these home values all up along in here, because that downtown area hasn't been revitalized. So once that does happen, whenever it does, it may never, but these homes are going to really jump up in value. All right, these are decent neighborhoods. Now, one thing to note is this neighborhood right here. So this is a one way into town, and then this road is the one way out of town. Now, this little neighborhood, this is the Mill Pine area. I would kind of avoid that area if you could. These are a lot lower end homes. There's a little bit of a homeless that lives along the river there, but nothing too major. I mean, if you're coming from another neighborhood, another big city, then the homeless population is probably more, most likely. But Roseburg does have a homeless population, and that is kind of where they end up. This is a big spot where they're at as well. And I'm not really going to dive into the homeless problem, but this neighborhood is a little rough, but it's not too bad. But I don't think I would buy here personally. Now these homes are going to be in the 250, maybe lower. I've seen them as I've seen them low under the 200 range, some of them. But they it's probably one of the least desired neighborhoods. Then we are going just to jump over and get into one of my favorites, and it's just because of these homes. They're just so cool looking. So this is the Laurelwood neighborhood, and you can kind of see that, yeah, there's a park here, um, and there's really only one way in and one way out of this neighborhood. So this is a little community park, and you can kind of see back in there, there's a play area back there. Um, and these are all very historic homes. This one right here, absolutely beautiful. I showed that probably about 3 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, um, and it ended up selling for 465,000. Not bad price. It, 4 bedrooms. Now it was pretty upgraded, but it's still a little old. But I mean, it had a great backyard, really private area. You can see the park here. You know, really nice. And then you've got these along the river here. Those rarely go up for sale. The homes in this neighborhood rarely go up for sale. And then we're just going to back out and get our bearings straight again. And then we are going to jump over to, this is the West Harvard neighborhood. These homes range anywhere between the mid twos to mid threes on average. There's some pretty nice homes in here. I did notice when I was working on this that a lot of these roads I can't jump into. But so these are all really nice homes. These are all like in the 350s up in here. And then you get up on the hill, you're going to have a little bit of view here. We can kind of spin that around. You can kind of see this is Mount Nebo over here. But you can kind of see that this is all just a little really nice community. And here's why a lot of people like this neighborhood. Here's going to be all your necessities, your Walmart, your Costco, your Lowe's, all of that. It's going to be right around in here. And up in here, here's your Fred Meyer, Mercy Medical. But we'll dive into that a little bit better. If you're in the West Harvard neighborhood, which is all this, it is just a short little drive right over here. 5 minutes you can be to all your necessities and what you need. And then it's also just a short little drive to the freeway. 5 minutes you can be on the freeway and north, south, wherever you need to go. So that is one of the aspects of the West Harvard neighborhood. Now let's just dive down into what I was talking about, is all your necessities. So first off, you've got the VA Medical Center, which is right here. And one reason why a lot of people are moving to this area is because of this VA complex. It offers everything that you need if you're a veteran. Veteran hospital, healthcare, doctors, assisted living, all that. Really great facility. So you got the VA hospital, and then all of this is Stewart Park right in here. So you've got Stewart Park, golf course, your YMCA is over here. So your YMCA is over here, YMCA, golf course is all through here. And then also you've got the disc golf course, which kind of spreads up through there, which is kind of cool. And then the National Cemetery, also pretty neat. Some apartments for veterans, and then there's an assisted living over here for veterans, which is kind of cool. So then we get into where you're going to be doing all your shopping and all your necessities. So you've got Fred Meyer here, and then you've kind of got a little shopping center here. So there's a bunch of strip, like Joanne Fabrics, Michael's, liquor store there, a couple restaurants. So you got a couple restaurants there. It's a pretty good Mexican restaurant. regular everyday stuff. And then also over here, you've got pretty much what they call the mall. Couple shops in here. Rite Aid. I think the Rite Aid's closed now. Joann Fabrics is closed. But a few things there. Over here, you've got a Planet Fitness. There's a furniture store here. That is not a Macy's. That is Sportsman's Warehouse. It's kind of funny. Look at it back over here. It says Macy's, but it is Sportsman's Warehouse, so it's a sporting goods store. Then you got a couple chain restaurants, Red Robin. Let's see. Then we're going to go back over here, and then over here you've got Mercy Medical Center. So that's going to be your hospital, and then all the medical services are around here. So that's where your medical is going to be, and I kind of back out and kind of get a bearing of where we're at. So there's Mercy Medical right there. Here's the downtown area. Mercy is right here, and then we'll dive back in just so you kind of understand where we're at. Back to Mercy, and then you've got your Walmart, which is here. Over here, you've got Goodwill, medical offices here, grocery store. So you've got Sherm's, Winco, and then up over here is Safeway. So you've got Fred Meyer, Safeway, Sherm's, Winco, all of them. And then kind of dive out a little bit. And kind of come back to the neighborhoods here. And so if we kind of pan up over, just let you know what we've already talked about this is the West Harvard neighborhood. This is the downtown. This is where all your shopping, Mercy Medical, VA Hospital over here. Now we are going to dive into the Hucrest area. And once again, this is why the Hucrest area is so popular, is because you can kind of jump right out to this road and head over, and then all of your services are right along here. You can also just kind of head right over here, pop over, and then you're on the freeway. So this is going to be a really convenient area for anybody if you want to be in town. And we'll just kind of dive in. This is a really nice neighborhood. Whoops, dove in a little too far. So just kind of cruising through, checking it out here. This is the Hucrest Elementary School. And then just kind of give you some ideas on home prices. We got this house right here. So this house here, that's going to be right around the 500. Kind of back out a little bit and kind of see that, yeah, you're on a little loop road hidden by trees. But the cool thing about that house is you've got a pretty neat view of these hillsides up here. Then over here, this house here, kind of hard to tell. This house here, that's going to be about the 350 range. And that's these houses that I'm showing you right now, they're active. So they are available. So if you are interested, give me a call. This is also a pretty neat house. It's very convenient because just kind of cut over here, and then you are out to Garden Valley, and Garden Valley is going to be your main arterial road. So that's where this house is right here. And then also, we can kind of jump over here to this part of Hucrest. Now you're going to be kind of back up off the road a little bit, but it's super easy to get there kind of just head over to Troost. So any of these neighborhoods right along here, you just kind of end up on Troost, and then that will take you out to Garden Valley, all your shopping. This neighborhood to Walmart or grocery stores within 5 minutes. And it's why this is so popular, this neighborhood. So you've got this house right here. That one's not that one. This one right here. That is right around the 450 range, and super nice house. And it probably does not have much of a view. If it does, you're probably looking over this way, which is kind of a cool spot. And then, not to mention, this house isn't even on the market yet, but they're looking to sell, probably be in the 525 range. So if that is something you're interested in, give me a call. This is a nice house. There is nothing wrong with it. Super nice. I just walked through that the other day. This home right here, which is just beautiful, and it's got a heck of a view. So this house is $670,000 right now, in the Hucrest area, and you are sitting up on the view. Let's see if we can kind of see what we're looking at here. Give you an idea. So you've got a view of all of Roseburg. So once again, you've got Roseburg, which there's Stewart Park over here. That's downtown. That's the airport over there, and really cool view of everything right there. So that's the Hucrest neighborhood. Now we'll move on to, we'll kind of back out a little bit. Then we've got the Melrose neighborhood. Now Melrose, probably won't be able to show you any houses. They're kind of hard to see because most of them are hidden. Whoops. Woo! But so you've got Melrose, which entails all of this, and we can kind of dive down just a little deeper. So this is Garden Valley here, and so Garden Valley comes out here. This turns out over here, and so all of this is going to be considered the Melrose area. There are some really nice houses right along the road here, right along the river. You got the country club, so there are some homes for sale right here. This one's for sale for 1.5, I believe. Then you've got these two right around the 800,000 range, and you're on a fairway, right on the golf course. And then we can kind of kick back out Fisher Road a little bit. This house up here is for sale. I believe that's in the 700 range, and it's on acreage. And there's a couple more right along here on the river that are for sale in the 500 to 700 range as well. Some of them don't have river access that are for sale, I looked at. But these are going to be more acreage in this Melrose area. You can kind of see, especially if we get along Fisher Road here. So you can kind of see, once you get past the golf course, these look like golf courses, but these are all 5, 10, 15 acre parcels. Some beautiful homes up here. Then you kind of back out a little bit. You can see this kind of dead ends right along here in the river. So then you're going to have some riverfront homes here. And these don't really come up all that often. They do sometimes. And then you've got the Del Rio Road, which kicks you out over here. So this is going to put you up to North Roseburg. Right here, you've got the college campus, Umpqua Community College. And then you've got Riverside River Drive. There's some riverfront homes along here. Some of these have boat access over here, and then this half over here has this little boat ramp right here, which is kind of cool. This home right up here. This home right here sold last year for $600,000. And then if we back out, there we go. This house right here, that is in the 450 range. Pretty cool, but it needs some updating. But one of the cool things about this one is, so this is all shared with the boat ramp. So it's all shared within those 30 people, but you do have your own backyard, which kind of kicks right here. But you do have all this private access, and that's gated. You got to have a lock. You got to have a key to get into that gate. So pretty neat. So you got boat access there, and so neat area. Also super convenient from this neighborhood here. You've got right out to I-5, and then kind of back out a little bit more. So right here, back to I-5, or you've got here, and then you can kind of come along here and you're right to Costco. Super convenient area. Or you can just jump onto I-5 and then be where all your shopping is. So 5-10 minutes to Roseburg. Not too bad. Great neighborhood, that college area. Super cool. I would love to live in that neighborhood. Really neat. Then you've got these riverfront homes here, and then this is the Winchester neighborhood. Also super nice homes. Really nice homes right along here. These are all in the 500,000 to 700,000 range. And then you've got the ones sit up on the hill. This is actually a hillside here. Let's see if I can kind of get that in there. Some of these have views, but you're sitting in that kind of like that little valley there, which is kind of cool. So some of these have views. Yeah, that's the Winchester neighborhood. That's kind of sought after. And then you've got all these along here. Also highly desired. Kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking for. Once again, I have been in all of these neighborhoods. I've explored them all. It just is all what you are looking for. Give me a call, text, email. All that contact information is in the description. I'm happy to fit the right property with you and your family. I'm just kind of doing this because I remember what it was like when I was moving here. It was tough. I really was confused. So hopefully this helps. And if it does help, hit that subscribe button, because I put out a lot of moving to Roseburg area type videos. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I put out these every week, so don't miss those. It'll really help you if you are thinking about making the move here. So one more neighborhood that we're going to kind of get into. I'm going to touch into this neighborhood right over here. You've got downtown Roseburg, and then to get to this neighborhood, you got to be on the freeway. You got to get to the freeway to get to this little cluster of homes right here. But you've got the fairgrounds right here. So you've got the fairgrounds, and then there's a few homes that come up along this little street here every once in a while. And I'd live there, but I'm really not a fan of that area. Home values don't seem to go really well there. Maybe it's because all these homes are outdated. Not really sure. And the river access isn't great. Maybe a couple of them are, but really the homes I've seen along this road aren't great. And when there is stuff going on at the fair, you kind of got to deal with the traffic. Also, if you got this neighborhood that sits up on the hillside up here, once again, these are all going to have freeway noise. So are those. These are all going to have freeway noise because this is a hillside here, and you kind of see here. So that noise is just going to go right off the freeway. You do have kind of a cool view of the fairgrounds and across the river. But these homes don't ever seem to sell really fast, and they just seem, they're not great. The neighborhood's okay, I guess, but I just haven't seen any homes up there that I've liked. But if you disagree with me, or if you live in one of those, leave me a comment. Love to hear what you got to say. Then we're just kind of back out a little bit more, just south of Roseburg. We got the Green area. Green is just right in the middle of Winston and Roseburg, but it's unincorporated Douglas County. So your taxes are going to be cheaper in Green. You're still in a Roseburg address. What's really funny about Green is you've got this little hill right there. If you can kind of see that. So what's interesting about this is a lot of these homes down here are in the lower level, not bad homes, perfect starter homes. Um, and then once you get up on the hillside, they're a lot nicer. Um, and you can almost see it, especially I don't know if you can see it by this walkthrough right here, but you've got this main road that comes in, and that is Carnes Road that goes all the way through and then hits back up to the freeway there. So all these are along the lower level. Some of those as well. There are some nice homes in there. There are some that aren't so nice. Uh, but you can kind of tell these are all kind of small little two, 3 bedroom homes. But then once you start getting up here, um, they start getting a little nicer. Uh, this one just sold. This home just sold. Super nice home for like 450, I believe. This one right there. Oh, it's this one. So this one sold for 430. So not too bad. And their backyard has got a heck of a view all of Rose, or that's Winston over here. And we're not going to dive into Winston this today, but then you've got these homes along here. They've all got a pretty good view because I mean, like even this house here sits on a hillside, so they've kind of looks over everything. Uh, really nice, really nice neighborhood. Then you kind of jump over this hill, and these are sitting up on this side as well. These are, oops, I meant to go over this way. These homes all are sitting up on a hillside as well, especially over here. Um, 4 or 5, $600,000 homes. Then you kind of jump down here, and this home just sold for 350. But they're all really nice homes. These ones here kind of have steep driveways. These ones have a view. So these are all in the 350, 400 range right along here. Really cool neighborhood. I'd live there. And that is about it. That's pretty much the Roseburg neighborhoods. Oh, I did forget to mention one of my favorite neighborhoods is this Rocky Ridge. So what makes it so cool? Well, it's not easy to get to. So one thing not easy to get to is not kind of what I meant. Um, it's not very accessible, so you don't have a lot of through traffic. This road is gated right here, so you can't get in from the downtown area. Um, so you kind of got to go up and around and back in. But once you're here, I mean, you're right in downtown. Not downtown, but where all your shopping is. So you've got a direct route, and it just kind of flows right through and right up. So that makes it super neat. But all these houses, and they range between the 800 to down to about the 450 range. Uh, but they're all super nice custom built homes. These ones up on the ridge are going to be a lot more. Um, those those ones are pretty nice. But then you got this, And this is an HOA, private community, so it's got its private little playground right there, which is kind of cool. But all of these sit just kind of in this little ridge valley thing, but they all have a really good view of the downtown area, so it's pretty cool. And there's more built right along in there as well. So one of my favorite neighborhoods, and yeah. So if you have any questions about any of these neighborhoods, leave a comment down below. I'd love to answer them. I answer all the comments personally myself within the day. And if you have any questions and are serious about making the move to Roseburg, give me a call, text, email. All my contact is in the description below and right here. And I'd love to help you out, find the right neighborhood for you and your family. And also, don't forget to watch these other videos. One up here about the pros and cons about living in Roseburg, and one down here about the neighborhoods in Roseburg. So with that, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.